Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vanity Fair. My name is Chris Farah, and today I am hyper excited to bring you like the hottest piece of internet reality show news topics that have ever lived. It is the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 4 / Taylor Frankie Paul / the end of the Bachelorette scandal that has absolutely erupted the entire internet / ABC / Disney / me. And I have, a professional, a podcaster, a very good friend of mine, someone who's obsessed with reality shows, and also someone who has like a wild resume of crisis PR and producing, ideally the perfect person to talk about everything that we have learned about the Taylor Frankie Paul DV Secret Lives of Mormon Wives scandal. Please put your internet hands together for Kate Casey of Reality Life with Kate Casey. Thank you, God. Kate Casey, hi, how are you?
So happy to be here. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Tell me about your life yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you, it was crazy. I got a lot of phone calls and I got a lot of stuff going on because this is like the intersection of all things that I care about. It's like reality TV and a crisis.
Absolutely. I know I said that you have a resume of crisis PR, and anyone who listens to your podcast, and your podcast is a pop culture institution of being able to have really insightful interviews with the content, like the creators, the producers, the directors of docuseries, and of course, reality shows that you watch. Yes. And you have like a very investigative journalist, professional vibe. I mean, it's very like, you're very smart. You're very astute. It's very,
thank you.
Yeah, it's so lovely, especially because we have other friends in the pop culture recap world. And not that you technically do recaps, but the same people listen. I have a lot of same listeners that listen to you, and it's so great because they get to have like an expert, get to listen to the director talk about what the choices were and everything. Like you really produce, a podcast that is like top tier. So
thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've always loved the lens through which the producers, the directors look, because it kind of is like the dessert at the end of the meal. Like you watch it and you get fired up, and then you're like, okay, well, why did they make that decision on casting and producing, et cetera? So I love it.
So yeah, I want to talk to you about your own knowledge of like crisis PR and how that come from. Then I also need to know your specific history with the Bachelor franchise, with Secret Lives of Mormon Wives franchise. Also, just like give me a little bit of that.
So I've had a podcast for almost 10 years now. And prior to that, I had my own PR firm, and I did crisis media litigation and strategy for global law firms. So my job was sort of like taking whatever was in the news and helping lawyers grow their practices by providing opportunities for them to talk about timely issues, like the Martha Stewart lawsuit in that day would be like, I would get, one of my clients into all the media opportunities revolving around that case as an expert. But I also did crisis media when a law firm had a huge crisis, and I would come in and help them with strategy about messaging. And I feel like, don't you think that I can't really turn the volume down on that, because I even do that with friends now?
Oh, yeah. Well, now we're in a global content creating capitalistic world where messaging and vibes and image is everything. And so for you to have the kind of like mechanical eye to see past like what they're doing and what they want you to know and what they're doing behind the scenes is like incredibly important. I remember in the 80s and 90s, like as a kid, they used to have these things in schools where they would like be like, kids, these are commercials. They're there to sell you things. Like, and I remember just like being like, oh, they're not always nice to you. It was like these things want you to buy the toy and stuff like that. And I remember at a very early age being like, well, they're trying to fuck with me, and that is true in every way. Like everything that you process, everything that's given to you, there's a reason behind it. And I think that it's important to see it all, for your
absolutely.
Own and also,
in most cases, you can walk out of it okay. The pivot is a beautiful thing. And if you are patient and realize that the news cycle is very fickle and people are quick to move on. And if you're just patient and you do things in a professional and appropriate way, you can walk out of something and even have a better outcome in the end than you had expected.
Yeah. Which it's interesting that you should say that. Do you think there's a possibility of that for Taylor Frankie Paul?
Yes, but she's got to go off the grid and she has to get some serious help. And I think her plight is that she has been part of a system that has rewarded her messy decisions, and she's addicted to the feedback loop. I don't think she's taking any of this seriously because she's been accustomed to being rewarded for bad behavior. So she's got to go off the grid and get some serious help. And I would say, I think she should take a couple years. Then she comes back and maybe she does some sort of like documentary, like post scandal. And you have to see a life well lived off social media where she has repaired herself, her family, her relationships. Then she can move upward. But she has to understand this is going to take some time. A lot of people who have been in that social media influencer world can't fathom a life where they don't have connection to people, strangers online. She's more concerned right now about stranger feedback than about the own feedback that people in her orbit give her.
Yes. It's really interesting. I started watching Secret Lives and Mormon Wives. I wasn't a mom talk person. I didn't know about any of them before the show started. I didn't watch them, like admittedly they're very cringy or whatnot. But and also Taylor's personality has changed so much in what they showed us. Like season 1, episode 1, we know she's a messy person that is dealing with like a very toxic situation, and she got pregnant and, she got arrested, and it was like used as a fire oh shit moment to start the series. Like it was obviously the story that was going to grab people to make them be like, what happens after this? So like this is episode 1, season 1 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. This happens. She's not season 1. She's like not really there. She's, doing herself, that's like when the mom talk starts to be like, we're going to maybe have a new queen. Maybe it's Whitney. Maybe it's Demi, whatever. Season 2 happens. Like the thing about her is she kind of has a little comeback in season 2, season 3. Like, it's, these season 2 and season 3s are like the Goyards and like Louis Vuitton episodes, where it's like, it's very like mundane. We're like almost like back to square one where it's like Real Housewives drama, where it's like not really important, but it's just so minuscule that like it's.
I felt like the first season was just very infantile. It's like,
I think the whole series is, but yes,
it's sort of like post Bachelorette contestant or teen. It's post teen mom, but it's before Real Housewives of whatever city. It's this like, and caveat that with it's this weird subculture where I think they're already a little bit stunted. So watching it is like it's through this weird vortex where you're in disbelief that people of that age have so much responsibilities when they're emotionally and there's like a maturity disconnect.
Yeah. Plus, they all want to look a certain way, like it's
they're programmed to believe a certain set of life circumstances are required for them to kind of be acceptable in their own community.
Yeah.
And it's sad because if you're an older person watching, you're seeing women that are at this like really like very interesting phase. Like when you leave your parents' house and you begin to develop your own ideologies, that's typically for most kids like at college in like their early 20s into like their late 20s. And you're seeing a group of women who were taught that your own value is getting married and having children.
Looking hot as hot as possible.
And looking as hot. And because
long hair.
If you're not hot, your husband's going to leave you.
Oh, yeah.
And then if he leaves you, you're up shit's creek because that's going to affect your spiritual salvation. Yeah. So they're put with these weird circumstances. But then there's a kink in the armor because they become famous on Instagram for doing the very things that they're expected to do, which is like online scrapbooking. It's like you're proselytizing through your imagery. Like, I have a perfect life. And So then they're becoming more and more famous. So it's offsetting the power structure in their own homes, which is not acceptable in their subculture, that the woman is making more money than the man. And then she's so diabolical, Taylor. She detonates everybody's life, including her own, by revealing that behind this image is this soft swapping scandal, which is even salacious for people outside of their subculture, if not the entire world. So now you've sucked us in. So now she's being rewarded for it, more opportunities. Now she's getting a reality show, and therefore it continues this feedback loop. So there's never a moment where she's had the moment of introspection that most people get from the time they leave their house to like their late 20s, where you're dating different people, you're having work experiences, you're meeting people that are outside of your subculture. She doesn't have any of that. That's why she has to go off the grid.
Yeah. And you have brought this up, and it's so true. Taylor operates also from a place of pretty privilege. And so because of that, her internet image is attractive. And a lot of people online love like a mean girl energy or like a boss bitch energy. And there are fans of Taylor's that, as you said, like hype up every decision that she makes. And her bad decisions are almost like, I'm being real, I'm being authentic. They told me not to like blow up and like, go crazy, but I fucking did. I'm me. Like she is. And everyone in the comments are like, good job, Taylor. He deserved it. He's like, whatever it is, they deserved it. You're the queen. How dare they do that to you? Blah, 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 blah. And the truth of the matter is, season 1, I was on Taylor's side. I remember just being like, why would anyone think they could be the new queen of mom talk? She is, like I didn't, they really did a good job of protecting Taylor from the video that had occurred in 2023.
And they probably did it because she really was the anchor of the show. I remember recapping it first season and with Krista Rosa, and we were like, they're mad at her, but she really is the center of the show.
No, I know, yeah.
But they didn't have any choice for it because the whole structure of the show is about soft swapping, and she was the only one who was legitimately involved with that. The others were like tag-alongs who were like, but we're Instagram, dancers too. They weren't really involved. So they painted themselves into a corner with this person who clearly has a lot of issues, and we could go through all of them, but like it would take us some time. So again, she's being rewarded with the bad behavior by making her the central character. But then again, like without her, there is no show. So there's no introspection, and she's getting worse with time because people are like, well, that's what makes a reality show star. You have to be irreverent. You have to have no filter. All the things that have detonated parts of her life are now she's now being told, well, that's why you're going to be more successful than anybody else because you're willing to do that. And that's at the destruction of her immediate family.
Yeah. You have to, she is obsessed with the idea that she's authentic, that she, is real. Like she puts herself out there. It's something that she says
but
a lot.
But you're also a real asshole.
Yeah. And you are really not learning any lessons. You are really in a fucked up, like, again, habit loop or whatever, where you are,
the feedback loop. Yep.
Decaying. You are literally decaying in front of us. You are authentically decaying in front of us. And you are refusing to take any like good steps for your own mental health authentically.
Yeah. Well, also, I remember like how many times have I interviewed a reality star and they'll say, thank God this happened to me when I was like 40 something, like a housewife. Because the truth is when people become famous, their whole brain chemistry, it kind of like unravels. It shifts. There's a complete change in somebody. And that's why you see the destruction of like young, actors or performers like the Britney Spears and that group of people, because they became famous so young. That's too much responsibility, the pressure that comes with it. And now all of a sudden you're an adult and there's like a fiduciary responsibility attached to it. So she's like, detonating everybody's life by revealing the soft swapping. She's making more money than her husband. And I think her family members also wanted in on the action. Remember, we would see them in scenes. They're like just as thirst trappy as the rest of them.
Leanne, her mom, for sure. I mean, Leanne got a whole facelift. I know. Yeah, it's like...
Leanne has never been responsible for her own life and choices. And then she raised someone who is just a mirror image of her.
It's interesting. I agree. But the thing about Leanne and Taylor is two things. I'm not a doctor and I'm not whatever, a lawyer, but things are happening with Taylor. And it runs the gamut, whether she's manic. I mean, she seems like a very manic person. And everything we saw, let's talk about it. Season 1, she goes away. She keeps talking about how she has therapy. Then she comes back, like she talks about therapy a lot for someone who for now 4 seasons has not changed, only gotten worse, worse.
Well, just because somebody goes to therapy doesn't mean they actually listen.
Oh yeah, and also therapists, who knows what fucking therapist she's going to? Anyone? Right. She didn't even say a doctor. I mean, I'm just saying she didn't say. I mean,
she could be just going to an energy healer or like a sound bath technician. For all we
saw
know.
that in season 4. We saw Jesse and Demi being like, "We're seeing energy healers." We're like, okay, well, this is your crisis litigation. I mean,
can I tell you something though?
Please, of course.
I've noticed this about reality shows is I'm not going to name the reality show. I'm going to tell you, I talked to somebody where they said there's a very popular reality show where there was like an intervention scene. But the intervention scene that played out was not for the issue that they were really worried about. So when you see a scene like that, like we're going to go to like an energy healer or a sound bath person, they're attempting to make it known in a very stealth way that the person that we're filming with has real issues, but they're protecting themselves from being berated by the audience or that person at a later date. So
I know what you're saying.
They're giving you a signal like, we don't want to film with this person. There's an issue, but we don't know how to do it. So it's either their idea or a producer's idea. Like, we're going to introduce the fact that this person has an issue by doing this, like cockamamie challenge.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, all the girls seem to have like 1 or 2 BFFs in the circle, and none of them are really best friends with each other. And they all very much.
And you can't be after season 2 because now the show is, it's more interesting in some ways because now we're wondering like, okay, this one's on Broadway and 2 of them are on Dancing with the Stars. How much do you bitch about them behind their backs?
Oh, I mean, Whitney, I mean, they can't stand Whitney. They thought they couldn't stand Whitney before. And now Whitney, I mean, literally is just laughing her way to the
Broadway. I interviewed her first season of the show. I interviewed Whitney. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I remember saying something, I got to look at the transcript, but I said like, well, you're clearly like a performer. I mean, why are you here? I'm like, you want to be an actress. You want to be a performer. And she got really all excited about like, I was a dancer and she was like a theater girl.
You can tell.
Go for it, girl. Like, strike the iron while it's hot. I think she's the smartest one of all of them. Take advantage of the opportunity that you get.
Yes, of course. Again, just watching them dance, just watching a TikTok of them dance, just literally. Yeah. It is obvious that Whitney can dance. It just is obvious. Like, all the other girls are just moving. Jen has never been a good dancer, pregnant or not. No one looked at Jen and was like, wow, the next Gwen Verdon. Like, absolutely not. And here's the thing, like, there's a little bit of a star quality in certain talents, like
absolutely.
You can do something, but you might not be star quality talented for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I like to sing. I really do, It's like my little stemming. I like to sing so much. There's just not a world in which you've ever heard me be like, Kate, I've done it. I'm putting down some tracks in the recording art, just like,
right,
not ever, and I think Broadway is a whole beast, like so anyway, having said that,
by the way, did you see it's more sales than history?
That's what oh my God, she is the winner. Whitney's Chicago run smashes a lot of it too.
It's not just her talent; it's the fact that she has all of those followers, and that's the reason that they even gave Taylor the Bachelorette lead, because historically that show is very saccharine. They like to have like someone.
Chicago?
No, the Bachelorette.
Oh yeah. Oh, so sorry. Yes.
They get somebody who's like really deep in their faith and they don't have a lot of emotional baggage and they've got a perfect family and there's never been a drug dealer in the family. Like no one has a crystal meth issue. It's very like you are going to get the most pure version of a person. You are, they have no history. They've never dated anybody. So when you're like, why would they choose somebody who has been married before, has an arrest record, was like like an admitted philanderer. She's a Mormon influencer. This person has to live in Utah to make it work. And she's got other kids with 2 different partners, or like, what, huh? It's because she has 6.1 million followers. And that is the problem with our current entertainment business system, is that people get opportunities that they should not get based on their social media platforms, because people in producing and on networks, et cetera, think, well, if she's got 6.1 million followers, that means we're going to get 6.1 million viewers, and she's got the money situation, which is new audience. They don't give a shit about the people that have been watching The Bachelor or The Bachelorette for 15 years. They want the new audience is what all the advertisers really care about.
The Bachelor franchise is
that's
done,
why she's
right?
getting it. Well, yeah, the last season was like a ratings like disaster. So they were like, okay, but they're also trying to compete in an era against Love Island and the F-Boy Islands. And so here's what I would say to them. Lean into what you are. Because I remember I interviewed a former contestant of The Bachelorette, so a guy. And I was asking him, okay, like, what kind of DMs are you getting? And he said, they're all from girls that are 16 and under or grandmothers. And that makes sense to me. And they're asked, I remember I put it out, like, I'm going to interview him, any questions? And it was like little girls who were like, what's his astrological sign? Or grandmothers, like, does he, where does he want to raise a family? Because women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s like Love is Blind because we've been through experiences, and that resonates more. Mm-hmm. But grandmothers who haven't dated, 40 years and a 16-year-old have like a fantasy did you sound that right? Okay. They have a fantasy version of romance. So just lean into that. You can't, why would you retool the show? That's what it is.
Lean back into your Disney fairy tale shit.
Yes, that's it.
It's interesting. It's like they had just revamped the showrunners of The Bachelorette in a toxic firing last season. And this was the season of the new Bachelorette with brand new non-toxic showrunners.
Yeah. Okay.
And one more thing. And yesterday, which is the day that all the scandal happened, was day 2 of the new Disney CEO.
Oh, can you imagine that guy's job? I thought about him, and I thought about all the publicists that work on The Bachelorette and what their lives have been like.
Talk about it. What do you think? Let's fantasize.
I think it has been beyond awful, because they're the last to get the information. Publicists are always the last to get information. So they're just trying to work on the fly. They are trying to like kick the can down the lane and not have to talk to people, because they don't even know what the answers are about. Like, is the show getting canceled? They don't know who that the talent can speak to. They don't know anything. So I feel terrible for them. I feel terrible for the new CEO, but also like, how exhilarating if you like love to work in crazy. That's like the same kind of situation as like somebody who likes to work in like a trauma situation, a hospital, or a colonel of the Marines. Like, some people are just like the chaos. Like, they're in it to win it. They got it. This is what I would say to them. This is what you should do for The Bachelorette. This is my idea. You put out a nationwide call to action. You say, our goal, you can't stay in The Bachelorette. You got to go back, because they swing back and forth each season, Bachelor. You say, we want the most fantastic guy, and we want to pluck him from obscurity. We don't want an influencer. And we are asking you, United States of America and Canada, can you please nominate the person that you think is the most fantastic person? And then everyone's excited and they're bought in, and the ratings, like they're invested in it.
They're like, Mike, look at my brother. Look at, like, they're, everyone's tagging.
Oh, my guy in my office. I can't believe he hasn't met anybody. And your social media, tag the guy, hashtag, blah, blah. The entire country is invested into this really good candidate who they are going to get, who's, again, not an influencer. Then you make a doc series about the making of that season.
I love that.
Or the making of, like, where do we find Mr. Bachelor? And then it erases what the hell happened with this.
That's so smart, because you said it. You're like, they looked at someone that had views and were like, this will be easy. And there is a path in the road. You either go and do something like what you're saying, which involves like creative thinking and passion and PR, or you do the easy way out, which is like, at this point, you also could get Kim Kardashian then. She's a
Mhm.
bachelorette. She has a lot of followers. And I don't know if you saw her on the Oscars, but she doesn't look like she's doing that well.
She
Her
did
hair,
not.
I mean, I think that she's probably down for it. I mean, Kylie's doing video game ads for like,
This is where we are right now, and I hope that here's the blessing of this. Maybe this is a real wake up call to the entertainment industry. Stop putting people in places that they shouldn't be in because of their follower counts. Taylor Frankie Paul is not made for The Bachelorette. She was probably made for like, I don't know, Love is
Teen
Blind would be
Mom.
a fun.
No, can I be honest? She's Janelle. She's Teen Mom. She operates in pretty privilege, but the truth of the matter is, if we were to talk about like the way she behaves, it's not of a top tier class system. Like she is,
Yeah.
everything is a little trashy. And I hate to say it, but it's absolutely true. She is Teen Mom. And that's another thing. Like those ladies get rewarded by people being like, yeah, go. It's the exact same, feeling.
By the way, I would have liked to have seen the hometown date where Taylor meets this fella's family. And they get to ask her, like, what happened in the 2023 incident? Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel empathy for somebody who works at the network who's like a publicist. They're not making production decisions. They don't have a lot of power, but their job is to somehow convince people that this scenario is normal. That's not an easy job.
Or should be forgiven and seen through the perception that they want you to see it, which is that, here's the thing. People aren't all good and all bad.
Mm-hmm.
No one is. It's just that if you're going to be on TV, you have to be watchable. And watchable doesn't mean just someone who is like
attractive.
Yeah, attractive and fucked up. It's like the due diligence of storytelling and of like the message you're putting across. And the truth of the matter is, if Hulu, and they did, Disney or whatever, knew what was in the video and knew what had happened in the domestic violence arrest situation, they chose to either put their head in the sand or to just try and remake the message to be authenticity. And this is what happens. And this is real life. And some of this is real life, but what is your message? It would be that she would have to have overcome and gotten better and matured and like showed us that someone will like work on themselves to save their family. But in season 4, and now you've given her a bigger platform, she's done the opposite. And it's like I say she's done the opposite, but you all have. Together, the group has, like there's a lot of things coming out and we'll talk about that. So obviously, again,
like, why did they choose Miranda?
Great question. I mean, Miranda only season 4 did Miranda even start really talking. To me, they could have chosen Layla, but Layla, I guess, was like trying to be with Mason the whole time, Well,
I think, and she's been open in the last few days about how I think she's seeking treatment for an eating disorder.
Yeah.
I don't like this show with the pressure that these women have because, again, I don't think they've had a moment of introspection from the transition of leaving your parents' life to building your own. They became adults right away by getting married or being around a bunch of these married couples. Like Layla needs like a hot minute to be like an adult out in the world. And like all of us now, she's got to be on this show and she's got all, these sponsors and brands, and you've got to be this person because the brand is buying into who you are on the show. And I don't know. I think it's better to be a reality star in your late 30s, 40s, because how do you even know who you are at their age? I don't know.
I am only now at the tender age of 44. Wait, how old? 44. Figuring out who I am. I mean, really, I know that I was regressed. Like, I feel like I was very sheltered. I know I was very sheltered, like growing up, like in my own ways. I'm like, Arab, and I was an only child. I have a very strong dad. I was so heavily Catholic, in Mormonism, Catholicism obviously have some things in common, some things that aren't, but like to be in every Sunday going to church, like I sang in old QA choir and modern day choir. I went to Catholic school my entire life,
Yeah.
and I was a little I was sheltered. I was, immature for sure. And I think that for me, my identity was like very much wrapped up also in my dad and like how people viewed me, and I it is difficult. I am so thankful that a lot of things I did in my 20s aren't just like on the internet, and
Right. And now you've got these young women who have the world telling them their opinions. I like, listen, it affects us and we're older.
yeah.
And some of them have young kids and by the way, let's not forget the fact, a lot of them are pregnant or in postpartum.
Oh my God, of course.
I mean, that is enough pressure just to like work through everything in your life while you're pregnant. And then when you have a baby, on top of it, the entire world is telling you their opinion of who you are and what you should be. And then you have the fiduciary responsibilities in your family because now you're the breadwinner and the husband is like clamoring to become a star in his own right because he doesn't actually want to go to an office. And the family's telling you, I don't know if this is the best representation of people in our culture and maybe you shouldn't be on the show. But then she's like, but you want me to have a lot of kids and you want me to have the perfect image. And I'm also the breadwinner. I'm trying to like stay awake when I've been feeding a baby at night. I've got publicists from the network calling me. I have to be interesting enough to maintain the show because I am the breadwinner. And now I have these kids to take care of. That's a lot.
It is a lot. I feel bad. I mean, Jen had a whole postpartum thing that took her out, season, whatever, 2 or 3.
And by the way, postpartum does get deeper with each child.
Then she went on Dancing with the Stars after like 8 weeks. I mean, can you imagine?
And then people are probably like, you better get in shape, girl. Like, you don't deserve to be on Dancing with, like, can you imagine the shit people write?
Let's be honest. Before Whitney went on Dancing with the Stars, she had a whole fucking makeover.
Yeah, but that's another layer to it. The pressure to like look a certain way. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of facial situations. She got a lot of facial plastic surgery, and so did Jessie. And Jessie doesn't like the outcome of hers.
To her credit, she has spoken out and said, "I did this. It was free, or pretty much free. I regret it." A lot of people would not have the balls to say that.
Her Wendy McClendon, Covey, who was like, yeah, I missed the Bridesmaids Oscar reunion because I fucking got a neck lift. There's a lot of like really honest plastic surgery things happening now. Like, I think in retaliation for the fact that we're in the age of 5K facelifts and everyone has, I mean, everyone's like an Emma Stone, Lindsay Lohan now.
Just as a side note, on today's episode, I interviewed the producer of the Price is Right scandal documentary.
Yes.
And the women in that doc say,
what
Bob Barker would say to them, hey, I know you're going to have like your break for the holiday. I suggest that you use that wisely. You're going to look better if you're more filled out in your bikini. So I don't know, just think about what you're going to do on your vacation. So what you're basically saying is get your boobs done. It's on your money. And do it while you're on vacation. And don't think about coming back without it because you're not going to have a job. So I bring that example is that what is expected of a woman who is on camera is outrageous. And it makes me sad that they feel like, or they have to, in many cases, get all this stuff just to keep a job. Like, isn't it enough to just be like super interesting and you're giving a window into a weird subculture? You on top of that have to like completely change the way you look to accommodate who? Who are you trying to accommodate? It's usually some executive who's married with their own kids, by the way. That's messed up.
Who do you think is who do you think is in The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives the best Mormon influencer of them? Because Whitney isn't a Mormon influencer. Whitney is like, wants to be a star, we said. Like Jessie is like a hairstylist, but I do, I'm trying to think I think that Jessie is really good at content creation. I think Miranda is a funny person, and I think Layla is a funny person. I don't know if they want this life. Like, I think that,
well,
they're interesting though.
To be a really good content creator, it's backbreaking work. I mean, you have to like sleep with one eyeball open, thinking about trends and how things look and putting out content. And then you have to be quick to delete it if it doesn't work. But Jesse probably does a better job in the hustle. I think the others, they're funny, but they don't have to do as much work because they're on this big platform. So then they get access to the followers. But I feel like Jesse probably spends the most time thinking about what works, what doesn't, when to post, who to collaborate with, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I get you. I want to talk about some of these things. So yesterday, obviously the DV video comes out of her throwing chairs and her child screaming. And do you think that Dakota released it, or do you think that TMZ got it leaked from law enforcement?
This is all, I think you can access that. So I would say it's probably more TMZ, because I think, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this, but I think people, as the series was like, building up to it, people were kind of like, wait, the rest of the world who doesn't watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is like, oh, wait, let me follow this story. Who was the lead? And then I think with more interest, you have more people kind of picking away at it. I'm sure there is a possibility that exists that someone's in Dakota's ear too, saying, okay, now this is the time to rip the cord,
What was it
could be many things.
It was her. What do you think that if Dakota released it, his goal was to take away the Bachelorette from her?
I think, yeah, to detonate her life. But again, she's like, why would you? They both are mutual detonators.
Yeah.
And it will never end.
I agree.
By the way, as you pointed out, which I will not, scream from the mountaintops, the guy that she ended up choosing, and we know that because of my friend Reality Steve, he looks just like Dakota.
Yeah.
So imagine you're that guy. You're like, okay, I'm going to just like go through this process because I want to be famous. I want to like, or like build my career. And you're now looking at this footage, and you're also seeing that she slept with him the day before she left for the show, and then called him 150 times the day she returned. And I also look exactly like him.
I mean, it'd be very, yeah. I mean, it's
like, think of our, like, just, I'm speaking to the women watching this right now. You're in this like weird relationship with a guy. It's a lot of mental games. It's exhausting. You're typically somebody who makes like good decisions when it comes to picking a guy. But then, like we all do, you get in a relationship with somebody at some point and you're like, I'm not the version of myself that I enjoy because I'm so in my head because this person's like gaslighting the shit out of me. And then you see a picture of their immediate ex and you realize, I look exactly like him. He's trying to redo the relationship through me, and I have been used as a utility.
He has been used, but I want to know, okay, this is what I want to know. Last Wednesday, the final episode aired. So last Wednesday, this guy realized that she fucked him, Dakota, before she got on the plane. And obviously everything else that happened that entire...
Then they go through the whole process, and then she returns from the show, and Dakota releases the receipts.
Well, no, I want to say this. Let me go into this. That happens Wednesday, right? Now, a couple of things happen in the world. She releases this TikTok, which I'm just going to show you. Oh, I realized. Which is, by the way, her dancing in her. Let me just say it because
again, we go back. Can we just go back to this for a second? These videos are so stupid.
Yes, she's dancing in her kitchen and she's like, guess what? I'm going to tease someone. And what happens is later on, a man's torso comes in, a very tall man, and she doesn't show the face. Now, detectives off camera literally put her head where Dakota's fucking shoulders are and her head where this man's is. And they're like, this is not Dakota. And so they were all like, this is, and then they also had found the winner. This is that man. She puts up this, it's in her home. He's there. Now,
publicists don't want to push her off a cliff at that point. Yes, they do.
But can I just ask, Kate, this makes me feel like the Bachelorette. I feel like that was planned.
No.
Okay. And do you think
not
that?
By them.
Okay.
I think I'll tell you why. They need to.
Doug Mason is his name.
Okay. This is why they like to pick people plucked from obscurity, because they can mold them and like have them media trained and tell them like, this is the way it goes. When you choose a social media influencer who, by the way, has 6.1 blah, 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 followers, gets more viewership on our social media channel than many of the shows that they air, they will never listen to your advice. They're like, I've been running my own social media channel. I know media better than you do. You're a 32-year-old woman with like 2 kids, and you're telling me how to get more likes and comments and attention on this show when I've been running circles around you. She doesn't listen to a goddamn thing that those publicists say.
I love you.
Every video that she does on her own.
Wow. Yeah, I can totally see that. It's just this video goes up, and then before the DV thing happens, people have been saying that Tate, her ex, and Dakota went together to a courthouse. This is allegedly, and filed dual restraining orders. Now, only Dakota's, I think, is for some reason, when I try to look it up, I think that only Dakota's is like super findable. I don't know if that means something else, but Tate himself has been very silent the entire time.
Which, by the way, now there's this video of your child crying with, I mean, I have some empathy for him as well. He's trying to protect his child.
Yeah.
This is awful.
It's really bad. So let's just talk about this. So after all of they pull Bachelorette, she puts a statement up. Okay. I want you to talk about her statement.
Yeah.
If you can. This is what the statement is.
There's no way an ABC publicist put that together. There's no way.
Taylor is very grateful. Well, I can read you ABC's thing. Taylor is very grateful for ABC. Okay, maybe I'm so sorry. I'm so all over the place. Let me go back and actually.
I think she used her TikTok money to buy a publicist or get a publicist, and the publicist is not somebody who really is really good in crisis media situations. This is just a basic publicist.
The ABC statement basically said, we are pulling the Bachelorette, and we want the family to heal. Something like just the family.
Right,
okay, so right. No blame either way. The family being whoever the family is, the family of the entire Mom Talk, the family of just Taylor, Frankie, Paul, Dakota's family, Tate's family. It's Leanne, whoever. This is Taylor's statement. Taylor is very grateful for ABC's support as she prioritizes her family's safety and security. After years of silently suffering extensive mental and physical abuse, as well as threats of retaliation, Taylor is finally gaining the strength to face her accuser and taking steps to ensure that she and her children are protected from any further harm. There are too many women who are suffering in silence as they survive aggressive, jealous ex-partners who refuse to let them move on with their lives. Taylor has remained silent out of fear of further abuse, retaliation, and public shaming. She is currently exploring all her options, seeking support, and preparing to own and share her story.
See, she's still in the mold of like, okay, now I'm going to get my own show. Like, I don't even need Secret Lives. Now I am like such a big star. I could make this into a documentary of my own show. She's disconnected from reality, and she is paying somebody who allows her to remain disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
There's no way ABC was involved in that. No way.
No, it's hard. It's a hard thing to read, because I do think that a toxic environment has more than one, energy making it toxic. It's her child screaming. It's her child screaming on the video.
And she doesn't run to take care of her child.
She just keeps blaming Dakota.
That child screaming and then
she says,
continue.
This is your fault, Dakota.
Yeah. But what mother, I'm telling you this.
I know. Go ahead.
What mother does not run to her child to comfort them?
This is going to be I'm going to say something that's kind of personal. It's fine. So, my parents divorced, and when they were divorcing, they were like having like a lot of fights or whatever, and I'm like 4 or 5 and 6 at the time. And I used to have this trick. And the trick was, lots of nights I'd hear them fighting. Right. I'd just be in my bed, hearing them screaming and fighting and all that stuff. And I realized that if I did get up and if I did run in and start screaming, I'd break it up. Because they would have to then tend to me. like, and they usually would. Now, I remember, and this is still fucked up and it wasn't a great idea, but I would remember then they would use me. Oh, you've made her cry. Like I remember this a lot, but at the same time, they would stop fighting.
Yeah.
And so the child has heard a lot of fighting over the years. This isn't this child's first rodeo. This isn't even this child's dad.
Right.
This is not ever. This is the child that she had with Tate. And so for Taylor to be in a psychotic mental state, I mean, obviously manic, enough to be completely blinded that she is allowing some asshole to be in her home who could just easily not be there, that she's hitting in front of her child who's screaming, and not wake that up for her and be like, get the fuck out. And then be like, what am I doing? I'm doing this in front of my child who's learning this, is in itself evidence of someone who's not a great mom. And for that statement to not have any accountability, even if you are a victim, you have to understand that there are victims of victims. Like you can think of yourself as a victim, but you are terrorizing an actual victim. So I don't know, like, this is a triggering thing for me, like, I think that it is. I think that a lot of like moms want to play, like a lot of mothers who are toxic want to put themselves in a victim place without actually realizing that they have raised fucking victims of their own shitty behavior. And that's what's happening here. And I think that, I don't know if there's of course like diehard Taylor fans, but I know that there are women like me who knows like that feeling, who's going to recognize that feeling and be like, I can't deal with you. You aren't it. In what you said is true. She has mental issues. And I truly believe, and this is allegedly, that Dakota brought in also a drug element. Like Taylor Frankie Paul herself, is obviously on stimulants. And I'm going to say that as someone who takes 20 milligrams of Vyvanse a day. Taylor Frankie Paul's jaw throughout the entire series is a fucking character in itself. She is.
I'm the last person who would know.
I'm the first person. I know plastic surgery and I know
all.
jaw movement like nobody's fucking business. Her jaw is on fucking fire throughout the entire thing.
I hope that's not true.
It is.
No, I hope that she's not, taking things.
I think that I think that she abuses drugs or at least she does uppers in such a way or some other illegal situation. I think that Dakota maybe have helped her. I think they're in some sort of toxic drug situation. I think a lot of the videos we're seeing, and especially the like arrest ones when she's out of her mind, it's also because she's fucked up on drugs.
You think so?
Yeah, I do think so. I do. And so across the board,
even more reason that they need to go off any social media in general and have like some deep therapy and some deep help with their health, if that were to be true.
It's interesting. A lot of reports are saying that, like, did you read these reports that like ABC executives, Hulu executives got calls from the cast being like, we don't want to film. We saw the videos. There's domestic violence stuff. And then
many of them may have been victims of their own, as children or in some part of their life.
Connor and Michaela talk about it.
And you're subjecting them to an environment where they have to work with someone who displays that. That's really asking. It's just appalling.
Yeah, they had to ask for like help and protection, and the stars knew that like the executives did not want to do it. And so there's part of me that's like, so the executives come to film, they shut down production last week when they started to hear all of these DV things. Then the video comes out. Then she goes on Good Morning America and she says, this is Taylor Frankie Paul. This was yesterday. And she says, it's a hard time. She keeps saying it's a hard time right now. It's like very obvious that was the verbiage she was given. Hard time. And just focusing on my family. Later on, she was supposed to be on an episode of Jimmy Kimmel. She's not on it. She's canceled. They don't even bring it up. They don't even talk about it. It just doesn't happen. Okay. And then of course, we go into what we know, which is ABC cancels The Bachelorette. She puts out a statement. ABC puts out a statement. Other people put out statements, like you said, who is the guy that ended up winning, Doug Mason. And his statement says, in light of everything that's happened, I'm just sending out prayers to Taylor because that was her moment and her moment was blocked. All we can do right now is be hopeful.
Remember, he was in a relationship with her, so he has heard the narrative that she likes to put out as evidence of that statement. Like, she's the victim, and you know,
she's the victim.
Yeah,
nothing about her kids, nothing about the family, nothing about like, nothing about even her getting help. Nothing like, all we can do right now is be hopeful. Let's stay positive and show nothing but support for people in need.
And also, it's okay to say, I am still processing all that is unfolding, and I'll feel more, I'll feel, you know, I'd like to comment about this in time. Like, you can say in a statement that you're not ready to say a statement.
Yeah. Also, doesn't he kind of look like, yes, Dakota, but also like a young Hugh Jackman?
A little bit on the bottom part.
Yeah.
She found a cuter version of Dakota. This is like, you know, like I said, you get a duplicate version of someone because you're trying to relitigate or reimagine a relationship with someone that you are in a toxic relationship with.
Yeah. Did you see Demi's statement?
I did. Do you have it? Can you pull it up?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Okay. This is her. It's a post. It's not her post, and then I'll read you what she says. So, the bills are paid. My husband is hot.
Yeah, disconnect. Yeah.
Our marriage is strong. The kids are happy and healthy. I feel so damn rich. And then underneath that, this is what she actually wrote. My version of peace that no one could ever destroy, no matter how hard some have tried. The best revenge truly is living well. I'll die on that hill forever.
Yeah, she's still thinking about last season where they were trying to like get it, you know, move her off the show or whatever. Like, she's still there.
It's interesting.
But then it's like, of course, all of these people are all in their heads. They're reality stars who never became adults. It's like listen, being a social media influencer is a very lonely life. And you have to learn to live on your own, like, lifeboat. And that's how they operate. Like, she's not thinking about the children that are affected by this or the other people in the cast who may have had similar life experiences. She's just trying to litigate what happened last season, just like all these housewives. They're still mad about what happened, and they can't see the forest through the trees, and that other people have lives and are affected by different circumstances, and certainly ones that are done by them. That's like, of course, this is like how they all are.
It's the same thing, I guess, what we were saying with Taylor. Like, Demi puts that up, and I'm sure there are Demi heads being like, yeah, girl, we always knew you're going to come out on top. You know, like, that she's probably getting like flack for that. And then again, at the same time, all these bitches lost. None of them won. Honey, the only person that won is Whitney. And it's funny because, I mean, Whitney really won.
I felt like even the first season, she just like kind of separated herself. Like, she was always kind of like keeping her space. She had the eye on the prize. She's like this. And you know what? I think this is like emblematic of a lot of people in life. It's like, you got to have a survivor chip. The survivor chip is the one that propels you out of the circumstances that you were born into, and you see a life outside of it and a route to success. And I think she did that better than all of them.
You're so right. I think you also have to have like a fortitude, and you don't fear failure. You don't get dragged down with like failures. You're just like on to the next. I think a survivor chip also means like, not letting yourself get dragged down. You just keep going. Like, you're just like, it's like, all right, well, that didn't work. All right, let's move on. Okay.
That's
Nothing
right.
is like, if things happened, if you have a fault in it, fine. You might learn from it, but might not. But it's not like incredibly, detrimental to your whole mental health. It's something that
And
I have had to learn.
by the way, good for her for moving her family out of there and moving to New York.
It's so funny. Yes, absolutely. Season 4 happens and Whitney and Jen go on Dancing with the Stars. Just so small side note is Whitney gets like a beautiful, like soul-filled Spanish style home. And then Jen and Zach move into a fucking black McMansion somewhere in West Hollywood, soulless McMansion.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no other. Oh, by the way, the Michaela is at the beach.
Well, by the way, hold on.
She in Orange County?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, Michaela.
We could investigate that.
Yeah, I'm like, I kept looking at that beach being like, is that Big Corona?
Maybe, by the way, Whitney's husband must be like really an astute person behind the scenes. Like he's all on board. Like they're both like focused on the same. Yes, they're a team.
They're like Siamese twins. I mean, they're like so locked in for each other that it's like, it really is like a interesting partnership. And I would say that like, it's like, I wouldn't say they have like the hottest sexual vibe, but
that's not important to either of them.
I don't think it is. And looking at it,
they have a shared passion for something else.
I know.
By the way, I'd be like to the other ones, like, you knocked it. You knocked their relationship, but they seem like a pretty tight team.
Yeah, because the thing about Demi and her dumb husband is that like all she can get from him is he's thirsty to drink her pee-pee. And like this whole scene, the only thing we have, sorry about that, but it's true. They go to a recording studio to lay down a track. He cannot sing at all. It's just her being like, hey, babe, can you pick a note and stay with it? She seems miserable. So it's so funny. Like, and then this song, I'm like, were they going to come out with this song? What are you, Melissa Gorga? Is this your on display? Like, it really that happened. Yeah. And it's like, well, bitch, you can't sing either. The funny thing is Miranda actually can sing. She has videos of herself singing. It's just that Miranda, it's funny. Miranda doesn't seem to want to be famous. Miranda.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Miranda's like, I will be here and I'll get the money, but like.
That's insane. But even with social media, a lot of them are like, I'll show up on social media, but they're not really staying up late thinking about all the algorithm.
No, Miranda just wants to move through her life, like look cute on camera and
coast through it. Coast. She's on the easy listening channel. She's on the Yacht Rock channel.
103.5. I know. She must have been so upset when like that Shania girl had gotten with Dakota or whatever. I mean, she's like, I've known Shania for a long time. I'm like,
I'm so astounded when people have the names of like artists that like, like Shania. There's somebody who named their child Shania. Like,
well, when the baby came out and it was a woman, she was like, I know what to name it because I know what it feels like.
Feels like a woman.
Yeah. These are my daughters.
There
Shania,
will be
this is Faith.
That are named after like
Reba,
Tate McRae right now. Like there are people that are having babies right now and they'll name
Tate. This is Addison. Have you met? Yeah, Laura.
You're right. Yeah.
I love Laura Zars. Yeah. Like Laura.
Well, Benson Boone. Their baby's being born right now. They're being named after him.
Zara Larson. I fucked up her name. Is my
Zara Larson's
my favorite pop star right now.
Yeah, my kids love her too.
Okay, so
I'd rather listen to a podcast than listen to the singing because songs sound the same after a while. I like to dip in and out. I can't listen to music all the time. Then it's like every Coldplay song sounds the same.
I'll tell you this, it's hard for me to listen to podcasts in certain situations because it's mentally too stimulating and I'm like going to get exhausted thinking about all the things they're making me think about.
Okay. Well, that's not the show. My show is not for you then because I feel like I give people lots of homework.
Here's the thing. Your show is for me because let's talk about the homework and everything because I do want to talk about it. Your show is about finding the best things to watch on TV and then watching them and then dissecting them. And the great thing about you and your Substack and your entire, I guess, infrastructure is that you do get to lead people into quality program choice.
Yes.
I know. So let's talk about your steps. So on your Substack, you release a what to watch for the week.
For the week, yeah. I usually put it out on Sunday, and then it gives people to kind of like plan out their week. Like, okay, Monday, I'm going to watch this. Wednesday, there's this other thing. And then they can text all their friends and go, okay, here's our thing. Because if you make plans with the people in your life, you have things to talk about at the dinner party or at work or when you go on a walk.
Water
I
cooler.
want to give you plenty of stuff to text your peeps about. So I just hate the idea of somebody, and this happens all the time where people will write me and say, I just can't do another night where it's 10 o'clock at night and I spend an hour scrolling to find something to watch. I just want to alleviate that pressure. You've got long work days and you just want to come back and have a plan of like, okay, this is how I'm going to enjoy it. And I give you options. So I know that, Love Overboard on Hulu may not be for everybody, but Homicide New York on Netflix may be for the people who like to veg out by watching some deep, messed up true crime thing, or maybe a sports documentary,
Yeah. I watched the Corey one yesterday.
Wait, which one was that? The Corey one?
The grief. She wrote a grief children's book and she killed her.
Oh, that true crime case. Oh, I thought you were talking about a specific show. Oh yeah, that's a messed up one. Yeah, that's a doozy.
I watched it all. It was like, yeah. And then did you watch, I'm sure you did. It's old news now. Did you like the Manosphere documentary?
It's so depressing.
I know.
That one's depressing. You know what? Okay, I'm going to give you like two funny ones.
Thank God.
I know. Jury Duty. The new one.
My friends are on it. I have friends on it.
Which who?
Oh God. I haven't watched it yet, but Ryan Perez is on it. I can show you him.
But you tell me show me what he looks like.
I will right now.
Oh my God, it's so funny. They're doing such a great job because everybody's been on some stupid retreat at work.
Yeah, like I am so happy.
Show me your friend. And then the second one is Born to Bowl on HBO. It's 5 episodes. Oh yeah. Oh,
First of all, it's so funny because it's like, it's like cutting out his name.
Tell him I think he's great. And Born to Bowl is 5 episodes, and they followed for a season professional bowlers, 5 of them. It is executive produced by Ben Stiller. At first, you're like, this has to be a mockumentary because these people don't really exist in the world. They sure do. And then you're like falling in love with them as the season, and you're like, and then by the end of the season, you're like, oh my God, are they going to win or not? And then you think, why don't I bowl more? And you have more appreciation for the sport of bowling because people are like, yeah, it's not that hard to bowl. What you don't realize is that the oil tracks that the bowling ball goes down, it's a different situation each time. Some make it real fast, some make it slow. And you have to be so good at adjusting your game for how fast that ball is going to move down that track and then how it's going to affect your game.
Okay, so many questions. So I thought you were saying the oil of the track of when the ball comes back to you, but do you mean like just the way the ball moves down the wooden?
Well,
plank?
it's gonna oil up your ball, right? Because when it goes down, and then you have to adjust how hard you throw, the way in which you throw, in accordance to how that ball is affected by the oil tracks.
That's the thing. You should bring this up.
It's almost like golf. It's like golf.
I love golf.
You go to a different golf course, it's not the same game. Like you have to adjust because of the hills. Like there's so many factors.
Where do you bowl in Orange County?
Oh, there's a bowling place over by University Temple. It's like Boomers. It's by there. It's right next to Boomers.
Oh, Boomers, yeah.
Yeah.
In LA, there's a Lucky Strike, and all the kids are going back to Lucky Strike. So maybe I should.
It's a big thing. It's gonna, by the way, it's gonna be big time after this series. When I was talking to the producers, I said, this is going to be like 100-foot wave where everybody then became obsessed with big wave surfing. And then they got like Mercedes-Benz to like the first season of 100-foot wave. It would be like some guy with like, like a banana stand. And then Mercedes-Benz is sponsoring. I think you're going to see bowling become a whole big thing this year because of that series.
I mean, because right now it's Mahjong.
I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that.
Yeah. So
although there was a true crime case about like a couple or like a friends that like lost their shit after a mahjong game. I have to look into that. That way I would be into that. But the act of sitting with tiles, I'm not. No. Mm-mm.
No. I mean, I think I did some on internet versions, and even that was boring. But yeah.
Well, one of my kids really is into the online thing because her grandmother showed her how to do it.
Because I think that, tell me if you have to ask this, your child, is it because the music is so loving and calming? It's very like,
It's that, and it's just like shifting it's almost like,
they make all those noises, the tiles. It's a lovely noise.
it's like, I think it's less, intellectually tedious as like solitaire, because it's just the graphic. It's just like matching the tiles. It's like it's like the sliding sound. I think it's all very relaxing.
Let me ask you.
Wait, by the way, much like a bachelorette contestant, that audience is like grandmas and little kids.
Bringing it back, honey. She brings it back. It's a full circle. I want to say, just talking about Orange County, do you feel like when you look at the Utah Mormon wives, do they remind you of Orange County people?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think a lot of the Mormons move here. They're like, I'm amongst my people. Funny thing, lots of people think I'm Mormon.
Well, can I ask? Mormon. I know why. Because you have a lot of kids.
I have a lot of kids and I'm blonde.
Yeah. And you're like a really good mom. You're a good mom, and you're like, you're even, it's funny. You are incredibly intelligent and incredibly lovely and progressive, but you have, you have a traditional sense to you a little bit too, like you hold down a lot, so I think that
I'm definitely like a hardo though. I'm a very Irish mom.
What's hardo?
I'm like tough and mean and like,
that's what I thought it meant, but I just want to make sure that hardo
my oldest was
like Irish. Okay.
My oldest was making fun of me. She's like, yeah, coming to you with like a boy problem or like a friend problem, your reaction's always like, I don't know. Did you say anything to them? Well, don't stop. Like, why are you talking to me about it? Go take care of this problem. Irish moms are like, you train so that they all help each other. So you don't have all of the work on yourself. We're good at delegating responsibilities so that they learn to be independent earlier and they can rely on one another.
I love that.
I'm definitely not a coddler.
Yeah. Good.
Where it's like, I didn't make it. Or like my son will be like, I don't know. How do you think we did in the game? I'm like, you guys were terrible. And here's why. That's what I was raised by. My mom would be like, if I won an Olympic medal, my mom would go, just remember there's someone better than you.
Next year.
Which is good. It's good because then you could you work really hard. You never, rest on your
Is there a happy medium? I don't know, babe. I think there might be a happy medium where you're actually
trying to make myself feel better.
I know. Where you're how was the game? How was our game? Well, let me be honest with you. It wasn't your greatest game. I saw some
that's
defense problems. However, that one move that you did do a successful out.
I know, but I'm just qualifying it. So people are like, I am not Mary Poppins with the 5 kids. My husband is like very, very effusive and like believes in everybody and everybody should get an award in some capacity. And I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You weren't good.
Listen, I think well, that means
you got to have both. Yeah. You got to have both.
You do have both. Your kids have both. Yeah. Okay. So as we kind of look ahead, tell me what your thoughts are with this situation. And then also, what are you going to watch next week, or what are you looking forward to in your own podcast next week? So future plans for our topics here, Taylor, Frankie, Paul, Secret Lives of Mormon. Do you think that do you think that Bachelorette will come back if they don't do your idea? Do you think Secret Lives of Mormon wives will come back?
Okay. Bachelorette's not going to come back for a while. They need to cleanse everyone's palate. They need to
The Bachelor then won't have a Bachelor contestant, obviously, as you said.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless they use Doug.
No. They need to go into Bachelor right away. They can't use Doug. Doug looks like Dakota. We need to let go. We need to move on from that. We need to clean slate. And I think that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, you have to drop Taylor. Sorry, she's got to go into heavy therapy and treatment. And I think it won't be hard to find new Mormon moms who would be fascinating to have on the show. So I don't think that's a problem. I always say Real Housewives should take the Menudo approach. Remember Menudo? It was like, once somebody was 13, you're out, somebody new is in. And there were probably, 60 members of Menudo at some point because they filter in and out. And they should just adopt that practice. So keep that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on.
Real Housewives tried to do that with New York, and then New York failed. And then the old New York tried to make a show, and then that failed.
Well, you got to start with a good product. And then you kind of have to let go one, like you have to do it in batches. Like you get rid of one and then you move one in and, because what they do is they paint themselves into a corner. They've got they start with a group and then they keep them on way too long. And then the audience is ripe for new stories. And you can keep the show modern if it's the same people for 10 seasons. You've got to get somebody who just moved into town, and how does that affect all the friendships? And that person's got a new perspective of life. And does that make them rethink their marriage because the girl down the street just moved in and she's having a lot of sex with her husband? And so then they're like, what's wrong in our marriage? And there are so many layers that can, be exposed when you bring in someone new every once in a while. And you let go of the dead weight, the ones that are overproducing themselves and they just want an easy paycheck and they do minimum work. Okay, so what am I going to watch this week? Coming up on the episodes this week, Ronnie Karen from Watch What Crappens is going to come on, and we're going to talk about all the Bravo shows because there's lots of Bravo stuff, including the new Housewife on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that we want to unpack. I think I'm going to interview somebody on the producing end of Jury Duty, which is going to be fun because I want to give people time to watch it so they can. It's not fun until people watch it so they can kind of
know what you're talking about.
It can macerate. And then I've got, I'm going to make Krista Rosa watch Love Overboard. That comes out on the 26th. I interviewed somebody who has created a new platform where people can submit ideas for producers so they can make their own reality shows and documentaries. That's good.
That's smart.
So I have lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff.
That's something you should. Yeah, you've always.
Oh, I've got ideas, girl. I got ideas.
Babe, yeah. I know. It's so true. It's there's so many obviously now also Jesse and Jordan have broken up. They're divorcing. Jason, Michaela are not together. Obviously, Layla is single. There is a version where these girls just go and have some single girl fun, and then
single girl fun. Yeah.
Secret Lives of Single Girl Mormon Wives. It's actually Secret Lives of Mormon Singles.
Secret Lives of Mormon Singles.
Yeah. I love you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking
Thank you.
about
By the way, tell everybody they need to go to katecasey.substack.com to get that list of what to watch each week. And then you can read I wrote an article recently about Taylor Frankie and why this was inevitable. You could read that too, but I want you to get that list every week of what to watch. So katecasey.substack.com. But listen to my podcast, Reality Life with Kate Casey. And I do have a YouTube. So if you want to listen to the episodes, you can do that there too. So it's Reality Life with Kate Casey on YouTube too. And Instagram, at Kate Casey CA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, Twitter Threads, Blue Sky, at Kate Casey. And
your Facebook group actually is very fucking active.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and plug your Facebook group. I know.
Yeah, yes.
If you need, obviously as things come up and you want to talk about things, there's just the various ways you can find community to do so. And your Facebook group is active AF and fun. So I'm also going to plug
Reality Life with Kate Casey Facebook group. Yeah, that's just what you plug in the search button.
Thank you. Yeah, you're very smart. I love having you in my life. I haven't, we always have a lot of fun when we hang out in Newport together.
Because we just make fun of everybody.
Yeah. And then, we get to see our own version of reality.
One guy that you were friends with. And I was like, wow, that person's a lot.
Babe, we saw Christina by the coast.
Oh yeah. That was a night.
It is crazy to think that Utah's full of influencers and there's so many shows happening. And then also Orange County is full of fucking reality show OC selling people.
Isn't that the truth?
It is the same.
Wait, where was I? Oh, we were at I was at a lacrosse game and one of the Real Housewives ex-husbands walked past and my friend locked eyes and she's like, I hate that we know who that person is. Yeah.
I hate that Shannon Beater's old as hell dad flirts with me at the Newport Beach Yacht Club.
Oh, I see him all the time at R&D.
Yeah, he's very active.
Is R&D? He goes to the yacht club?
Yeah, he's a member of the Newport Beach Yacht Club right across from Babel Island. Yeah.
I think he's almost 100,
very
maybe?
Old. Drives a dark, I think Bentley or Rolls Royce, one of them.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I do have to say, when I see her with her dad, she's always very sweet with him. because
Yeah.
he wears his hearing aids, but she's like has to really yell at him.
Yeah.
And she's always like telling him stories, and I'll see them together on a Sunday, like eating dinner together.
You know, Heather Dubrow does groundlings, and I keep waiting to see Heather Dubrow at a groundlings class, and I haven't done it yet. It makes me so sad. I wonder if she's passed Writer's Lab. So many things.
Yeah, what level? Would she have to start at the bottom? What do they do with celebrities at the groundlings?
She started at the bottom, but she is an actor. Basic of groundlings is not fucking hard to,
By the way, I went through groundlings too.
I think you did tell me this. We could talk. Right now.
I was like so in a crush with my instructor.
Do you want to tell me who it is?
I will tell you later, but I will tell you this.
No. Okay.
I made such a fool of myself because I had a friend with me and we went to dinner at a restaurant. It was an Italian place across the street from the groundlings. And I'm sitting there telling her about my massive crush on my teacher. I was like, he's the hottest guy and he's so funny, blah, 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 blah. I'm going on and on. Okay. Then there's a tap, tap, tap on the window. And I look and the teacher is there and he waves. He's friends with the table right next to us. And it's like one of those restaurants where you're like right on top. They heard me go on and on and on about this guy. I'm so embarrassing.
My face melted off for you. I'm so sorry.
But I will say that person who I will tell you who that is in a minute. But when I was done with that series, he wrote me a lovely multi-paragraph email with insights and advice, etc. And then when I told
what level teacher is this of yours? Was he your Writer's Lab teacher? What is
he? No, not Writer's. No, not Writer's Lab. No. But when I years later talked to somebody else who was in that era, I told them that story and they went, wait, that person? I went, yes. They went, he doesn't talk to anybody. Like he did that for you. And I'm like, they go like, he's like a curmudgeon. Like what? And then I thought, could have been a love story.
Could have been
a love story.
A very funny love story.
A love story. And he makes movies and he's like, yeah, could have been a love story.
I love your life.
I know. That guy did not want 5 kids. I doubt. Yes.
You are, it's so funny. All these Mormon women, like, they want to be you. Isn't that crazy?
I don't think so. No. No. Those women want to be like the Bachelorette. Like they want to be on TV and stuff. They want to be big timers.
You have an incredible business you've built for yourself. You have so many kids. You live in a beautiful home in like a beautiful part of America. That's why it's like,
Yeah, but again, they want to be at the Vanity Fair parties.
They do want that. And they also, I guess, want, whatever extensions.
Yeah.
They want 22-inch extensions though, too, truly.
They want 600 people in the comments saying, I need to know what lip gloss you have. That's what they want.
Also, we're on your side. Good job with whatever you're doing. All your choices.
Suck that guy
behind.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway.
I love you.
Okay,
I love you so
too.
much. Thank you so much for doing this. You gave us all your socials.
Yeah.
Just give me, what was your Instagram? And did you give me your actual Instagram?
Instagram is at Kate Casey CA. And then TikTok is It's Kate Casey. And if you love reality shows and documentaries, I truly am the friend that you really need in your life.
Yeah. And again, the friend that's going to give you from A to Z the prep. That's what I said. It's like she's going to prep you on what you should watch, what she's watching. She's already curated what's good. And then you watch it. And then the next week you can listen to her podcast or go on the YouTube and actually like dissect it. And it's not so much, again, like play by play of the entire thing, as it's more so like an interesting investigative deep dive in the creation of that. So it's why I also, I think it's a great little marriage of like listening to something from me and you, because you would get a completely different.
Ain't that the truth, girl? Ain't that the truth?
I mean, perspective. Having said that, I love you so much. I'm going to let you go because you have things to do. Happy Easter and God bless you.
And thank you.
I hope all is well, but we'll talk. We're going to hang out later. Okay.
Bye, yes, babe. Please. Bye.
If you want more of me, you can absolutely get more of me. I'm at Chris Selfair, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm sorry. I'm I'm at Chris Fair wherever you go to social medias, honey. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm making very fun content there. I also have a Facebook group. It's called Vanity Fair. Of course, I have my YouTube, Chris Fair. I have a page on Facebook, Chris Fair. I have a Substack and a Patreon. Patreon gets all the visuals before anyone else. So make sure you subscribe to Patreon, Chris Fair. And finally, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, Vanity Fair. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please consider giving me a 5-star review. You know, something just like she's great. And also we hope that she doesn't miss her mark, or we hope that she doesn't block her moment, you know, like something maybe like what Doug would say. I don't know, make it an inside joke or just tell me how hot I am. You do you. At the end of the day, thank you so much. We're going to do 2 breaths and then we're going to let ourselves go. Present moment. Listen, if you have chronic chaotic drama in your life, if you cannot feel how you are feeling, if you are not in touch with reality, one great thing, mindfulness, just making sure you can be present, honey. So let's just do it. 2 breaths, because nothing is ever perfect and you're going to give yourself the process for the rest of your life. Feet on the floor, use my voice or your own breath, the sound of the room, so that you don't think about the past. You stop planning for the future. But for one moment, we are all here right now. Okay. Did you do it? Or did you start thinking? One more chance. Yay. I did it. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. I'll be having a part 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to talk more about this coming up. Bye.